So let me get this straight, WWE, TKO. You have one of the best technical wrestlers in the entire world. A guy with Olympic-level credentials, insane charisma, great comedic timing, a believable underdog story, and someone fans were begging to see become the next Kurt Angle. And WWE turns him into a masked joke character called El Grande Americano. Like, seriously? At some point, this stops becoming bad booking and starts becoming WWE and TKO actively wasting one of the most talented wrestlers they've had in years. Because Chad Gable should be a main event player right now. He should be competing for world titles. He should be putting on classics every single premium live event. He should be one of the faces of modern wrestling. Instead, he's stuck in comedic purgatory. And the worst part, the fans already showed WWE exactly what they wanted. They wanted Chad Gable to become a star. WWE just ignored it. So in this video, we're going to talk about how WWE completely failed Chad Gable, why the comparisons to Kurt Angle were actually justified, and how WWE accidentally proved Gable could be a top guy, and why this entire El Grande Americano thing might go down as one of the biggest wastes of talent in recent WWE history. Okay, let's start here. Chad Gable was never lacking talent. That was never the problem. This man had one of the best amateur wrestling backgrounds in WWE. The guy literally competed at the Olympic level. And if WWE had any vision whatsoever, they would have realized immediately what they had. Because Kurt Angle worked for a reason. It wasn't just because he was funny. It wasn't just because he could wrestle. It was because Kurt Angle felt real. He could destroy you in the ring, then make you laugh 5 minutes later, then cut an intense promo afterward. That balance is rare, and Chad Gable has that same balance. The guy can wrestle circles around almost the entire roster. His timing is elite. His facial expressions are incredible. His promos kept getting better. And unlike a lot of WWE talent today, Chad Gable actually connects with crowds naturally. Nothing feels forced with him. That's why fans got behind him. And honestly, it's amazing he got over at all, considering how WWE treated him for years. Remember Shorty G? Yeah, that happened. That actually happened. WWE took an insanely gifted wrestler, reduced him to a height joke, then acted shocked when fans hated it. That alone should have been a warning sign, because WWE had this weird obsession with making Chad Gable look like a joke instead of embracing what makes him special. And this is what makes the situation so frustrating. The audience literally handed WWE a main event talent on a silver platter, especially during the feud with Gunther. That was the moment. That was the moment. Crowds were fully behind Chad Gable. People believed in him. Fans wanted to see him overcome the odds. And for the first time in forever, WWE had organically created a believable underdog babyface. Not a corporate created underdog, a real one. And Chad Gable absolutely delivered. The matches were incredible. The intensity was there. The promos improved dramatically. And for a while, it genuinely felt like WWE finally understood what they had. People were comparing him to Kurt Angle for a reason. Not because they wrestled similarly. Not because they were both amateur wrestlers, but because Chad Gable had that same ability to make people care. 1 second, he could make you laugh. The next second, he could snap and become dangerous. That's valuable. That's money. And instead of capitalizing on that momentum, WWE cooled him off again. This company has a terrible habit of accidentally creating stars, then immediately get scared of them. And Chad Gable is one of the biggest examples of that. Now let's talk about this El Grande Americano nonsense. Because honestly, this character feels like WWE's biggest problem in one storyline. Instead of elevating Chad Gable, They turned him into a meme. And look, comedy in wrestling is fine. Not every character needs to be serious 24/7. Kurt Angle proved that. But there's a massive difference between a layered character and a full-blown parody. The issue with Chad Gable, the issue with El Grande Americano isn't just that it's goofy. It's that it completely kills Chad Gable's momentum as a credible wrestler. You can't spend months telling fans this guy is one of the best wrestlers alive, then suddenly throw him into cartoon comedy and expect people to still take him seriously. That's not character development. That's sabotage. And it feels like WWE does this constantly now. Whenever someone organically gets over because of their wrestling ability or authenticity, WWE immediately turns them into a gimmick. Just like LA Knight. Everything has to become a meme. Everything has to become irony. Everything has to become content. Nothing is allowed to feel genuine anymore, and Chad Gable is suffering because of it. And the craziest part is, this gimmick would probably work for someone lower on the card. But Chad Gable isn't some random comedy wrestler. This is a guy fans wanted to see beat Gunther. A guy fans believed could become Intercontinental Champion. A guy who could realistically be a world champion. A guy and I'm sorry about that. And WWE traded all of that for cheap laughs. And honestly, Chad Gable's situation exposes a much bigger WWE problem. This company struggles to book actual wrestlers. Seriously. Unless they're already established megastars, think about it. How many elite in-ring wrestlers in modern WWE feel truly important right now? A lot of them either get turned into comedy acts, disappear for months, or become side characters in endless bloodline segments. WWE today prioritizes moments over long-term character building, and Chad Gable desperately needed long-term storytelling. Because he's the type of wrestler who gains momentum over time. The more people watch him wrestle, the more they believe in him. That's how Kurt Angle became a legend. That's how Bryan Danielson got over. That's how underdog babyfaces work. But WWE books like they're addicted to instant gratification now. One week, somebody's serious. The next week, they're dancing. The week after that, they're in a random tag match. Then suddenly, they disappear. There's no consistency. And consistency is exactly what Chad Gable never got. Imagine if WWE fully committed to him for 1 year. 1 full year. Serious feuds, meaningful wins, character progression, big match opportunities. Do you realize how over this guy would become? Instead, he's trapped in mid-card limbo while less talented people get pushed ahead of him because they fit WWE's sports entertainment formula better. And here's the truth nobody wants to admit. If Chad Gable wrestled in a different era, he probably becomes a massive star, especially during the Ruthless Aggression era. That version of WWE would have loved him. He would have had classic rivalries, classic promos, classic underdog moments. But modern WWE, it feels like they never fully trusted him. And that's insane, considering how many times he proved himself. Every time Chad Gable gets an opportunity, he delivers. Every single time. Great matches, great reactions, great character work. Yet, somehow, he's still treated like an afterthought. Meanwhile, fans keep begging WWE to push him harder. That disconnect says everything. Because wrestling fans know when somebody has it. And Chad Gable absolutely has it. Even now, despite all the bad booking, people still care about him. People still react to him. People still believe he could become something bigger. That should tell WWE everything they need to know. At this point, WWE needs to decide what Chad Gable actually is. Is he a joke character or is he one of the best wrestlers on the roster? Because trying to do both clearly isn't working anymore. The sad part is, fans already gave WWE the blueprint. The Gunther feud proved Chad Gable could be a serious star. The crowd reactions proved the people were invested. The matches proved he belongs at a higher level. But instead of building on that momentum, WWE hit the reset button again, and eventually fans stopped believing the company will ever pull the trigger. That's the danger here. Not just wasting Chad Gable's prime, but conditioning fans to stop caring when talented wrestlers get hot. Because why invest emotionally if WWE is just going to turn everybody into a comedy act 2 months later? And honestly, that's the biggest reason people are frustrated with modern WWE right now. It's not a lack of talent. It's the complete inability to capitalize on it. Chad Gable should have been the next Kurt Angle. Instead, he became another example of WWE fumbling a star before he ever reached his full potential. But let me know what you guys think. Did WWE completely fail Chad Gable? Could he still become a main event player? Or is the damage already done? And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because we've got a lot more wrestling videos coming soon. I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.